Welcome to the Yak-52 startup lesson. Today you will learn the engine start procedure for the Yak-52. If you have trouble hearing the instruction over the engine noise, turn down the volt and in-cockpit sound sliders in the options order menu. Press the spacebar key to proceed. Check to make sure that the hood locking elements can be opened and closed easily. Press left Ctrl plus C to close the hood, and left Shift plus C to open the hood, or click the highlighted element. Check that the flight controls have freedom of movement. Check that the elevator trim top wheel has freedom of movement and set it to the back position. Press and hold the right Ctrl plus dot combination or mouse over the highlighted area and rotate the hand wheel counterclockwise using the mouse wheel. Check the surface condition of the flight and engine instruments. Press the spacebar key to proceed. Check the KE-13 magnetic compass readings. The compass must indicate the parking heading of the aircraft. Press the spacebar key to proceed. Set the altimeter needles to 0. The indicator for the pressure scale readings must coincide with the actual pressure value. A 1.5 mm mercury deviation is allowed. Use the mouse wheel to rotate the highlighted knob. Check the board clock readings. Press the spacebar key to proceed. On the radio control panel, set squelch to the off position, down, and the volume knob to the maximum volume position. Open the airflow cock and check that the air pressure in main and emergency air systems is no less than 50 kilograms per square centimeter. Check the throttle, propeller pitch control and fuel cutoff valve for free movement. Set the fuel cutoff valve to the open position. Fully forward. Check that the engine cowl flaps, oil cooler flaps and air heating gate for the carburetor inlet have free movement. Set the battery switch to the battery position and press the press before startup button on the altitude indicator. Turn on the PAG-1 and PT200 switches and press the button on the voltmeter. Its needle should indicate no less than 24 volt. Turn on the radio, intercom, altitude indicator, landing gear warning, direct to alternate current transformer, radio compass, and gyromagnetic compass switches. Check the landing gear light indication. A green light should be on. Check the dashboard light indicators by pressing lamps check button. Check the electrical gauges. Check the electrical gauges. All needles should be in their initial position. Check fuel. The fuel gauge should indicate the actual amount of fuel. Check the fuel gauge indicators by pressing the control button on the fuel gauge. Ensure that the SSQR1 critical angle of attack indicator is working properly. Check PDOT and SSQR1 sensor heat. Turn off the highlighted switches after these checks are done. Preliminary checks are complete. Let's begin the engine start procedure. Ensure that propeller control is set to the fine pitch position. Move the throttle forward to 1/3 of its full travel, 28 to 38%. Set the fuel cutoff valve to the open position, full forward. Ensure that magneto switch is turned off in 0 position. Prime the engine 5 to 6 times. Set the battery switch to airfield power supply or battery position. Switch on the radio, intercom, UC warning, engine instruments, generator, and ignition switches. Switch the magnetos to on. Set magneto switch to 1+2 position. Open the engine starting button cap and press the button for 3 to 5 seconds. When engine runs steadily, release starting button and set throttle to position corresponding to RPM 38 to 41%. Watch the oil pressure. If it doesn't rise to 1 kilogram per square centimeter in about 15 to 20 seconds after engine start, it is necessary to shut down the engine and find out the reason. After you've started the engine, lock primer to the vertical position, and then cover the starting button with the cap. Turn on Pack 1, VT200s, radio compass and gyromagnetic compass switches. An engine test run should be performed with an open engine cowl and oil cooler flaps. Set RPM 64 to 70% using the throttle. Turn the second magneto off for 15 to 20 seconds and memorize the RPM drop. Turn both magnetos on. The RPM drop when running on one magneto must not exceed 3%. Check generator operation. Set the RPM 57 to 58% using throttle while pressing the voltmeter button. The voltage must be 27 to 29 volts. When the generator is on, the generator failure red signal lamp must go off. Check propeller and propeller governor operation. Ensure that propeller pitch control lever is set to the fine pitch position. Set an RPM of 70% using the throttle lever. Move the propeller control to the course pitch position, full back. RPM must drop to 53%. Move the propeller pitch control lever to the fine pitch position, full forward, and the RPM must increase up to 70%. A brief oil pressure drop at the engine inlet up to 2 kilograms per square centimeter is permitted, with a subsequent recovery within 8 to 11 seconds. Set an RPM of 64% using the propeller control lever. Move the throttle smoothly forward and back, not to extreme positions, and check that the RPM remains constant. If you move the throttle forward and back too quickly, the engine speed may increase or decrease by 2 to 4% respectively, but it will restore in 2 to 3 seconds. This concludes this cold start lesson. Well done!